crafty friends, it's Diane, the Creative Inkster. It is Monday, September 26, 2022, and I'm here to have a little scrap fest with you. So welcome, and thanks for joining me. If you're here live, please leave me a comment so I know that you're here. We can interact. I'll see your comments. And if you're watching on the replay, well, let me know, because I always like to hear what you have to say and think about the video. So I'm looking over here on my left, where if you've ever done a Facebook Live, it usually counts up and lets you know how many seconds and minutes you're into your live video. It's not counting up. So I'm hoping that we're going live. Tonight I was going to try something new, but decided, it wasn't going to work out so great. So maybe next week to try a new way to get this out to you by Zoom. And but I've changed my location, so things should be a little bit brighter, and hopefully you can hear me just fine. All right. If someone's out there, if you can let me know that it's coming through okay, that would be terrific. Well, what are we going to do tonight? Oh, I see it counting up now. We're at 4 seconds. I hope I don't have to repeat all that, but I will just anyway. So it's Monday, September 26, 2022. We're going to have a little scrap fest. Basically, what we're going to do is take some of our scrap pieces. I don't have any actually cut, so I will do some cutting. But if you've got scrap pieces already cut, that's great. I just wanted to be able to show different images when I did it. Oh, hi, Vicki. Thanks. That's good. Hi, Dawn. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the counter over there, but every time I go for these lives, something goofy happens. Keeps me on my toes. Alrighty, so we're going to have a scrap fest, and I'm just kind of playing on words there, but we're going to use some scrap pieces, and that was my whole idea behind tonight's plan. So I am going to use these 4 pieces of paper. I don't know if I might flip them over. Probably not, because I'm going to stick with certain color orientations, but we'll see. And so this is a way to use up some of your 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, whatever scraps. So even 3/4 of an inch. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut a bunch of them. When I have striped paper that goes like this, I would much rather cut it like this than like, how do I describe that? I like getting the pieces so that you see them in different orientations. So if the piece is long this way, that my lines are going horizontal, and the opposite way if I've got something. So for example, I'm not as interested by a piece that's lined this way and it's going to go on my paper that way. Do you know what I mean? I like it to kind of break it up. It gives a whole lot more texture. All right, so enough of that about myself. I'm going to cut another piece. So, and I don't know what it is. I guess I'm used to having to have some kind of general sizes, and so I'm actually cutting on certain lines. But anyhow, I don't know what you're playing with, but this is what I'm playing with. And this one's going to be a bit wide, and I do like those cute little teacups. So let's cut them down a little bit. So I don't know what you're playing with, but I'm just grabbing a bunch of different scraps, and we'll just do this. This is pretty. I really like this. And I didn't think about how long some of them would be for them to be a nice length vertically. This will work though. And here's one that should work vertically nicely as well. So we'll just add another one of these. And we'll just get a bunch of scrap pieces on the go over here. Let's even do this and see what happens. I have a lot of this paper, so I'm quite comfortable just kind of like cutting it up. Okay, so there's a bunch to start with. And basically, when you have all your bits left over, then, you can do stuff like this with them. So what I do is I get these cheapo zipper seal bags from Dollarama, I believe is the brand. You get like 30 of these, but what I love about them is they're bigger than 6 by 6, usually a sandwich size. unless you're getting into the bigger Ziploc brand ones, but for the no-name ones, these are perfect. They're wide enough that they hold the 6x6 and it keeps all my paper nicely put together, because you know, that's important. Alrighty, let's fold the card base. This is Starry Sky, a nice dark deep blue. And I've cut a piece of white that I'm going to put on the inside, because as you know, when I have a really dark card base, I want to have something white on the inside for writing on. Should probably just invest in some gel pens, right, of different colors, and then I won't have to worry about this, but I do like the white interior. And what you can do, if you've, so this piece is a little bit larger, is you can even put some of your scraps on the inside. See, you can do that. You can add pieces even to your envelopes. So this looks to be a little bit bigger than 4 inches. So I'm going to start by cutting this scrappy piece off 4 1/8 and seeing if that's, no, it is 4 inches. Okay, it looked a little bit wider, that's all. I didn't check that first off. You just got your basic card base, and then I'm just grabbing this piece here, 4 inches wide. I'm going to stick it down here, and that'll be a way to use up some scrap, because there's no point in putting this, letting this stuff go to waste, right? You've got all your bits and pieces. If you're like me and you have a lot, well, you know, sometimes you do have to let it go. And over here, I put this one piece here. Is that 4 inches wide? Oh, perfect. So I can add this guy too. I'm going to add it above there. Oops, stuck to my finger a little. Yeah. So I had this big plan to use my Zoom account and stream live from Zoom to Facebook tonight. And I can't figure out how to get Facebook to recognize, or Zoom to recognize the Facebook account that I want to stream it to. So that's as far as I got with that project for tonight. I know. It really works well though, because then you can see my face and my hands at the same time, and it seems to be a bit clearer. All right, so then the next part of this is to put some vertically and some horizontally. And it really doesn't matter, you know, what we do. I like the idea of these ones kind of being like this. Now I'm going to have to trim these guys down because they're too long. So I need to trim off a little bit on both ends. So we're not even going to worry about what we're doing. We're just going to snip, and they can be different lengths and they can be the same lengths. It depends on what you want to do with it. Some can be straight edge, some can be angled edge like I did there. Literally just took my scissors, and actually I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them on the opposite edge. I don't want as deep of a cut. The opposite edge. So just getting a visual on that. So you see how that's that's opposite of what this one here is with the little flowers? And then I can add this piece in. So I need to have a little space between these guys. So we're going to add a couple vertical, because let's face it, we all have a lot of paper, and this is kind of a nice way to use it up a bit. Now if I fit that like that, that's going to be perfectly fine if it's a little bit further away. Perfect. And you got to think about what kind of greeting you want to put on this too. You don't want to hide all this prettiness, but it's kind of good to have a plan to use up as much of the space. So there's no dimensionals happening yet. That's going to happen on my greeting. But the great thing about this kind of a layout is you can use some of those bigger greetings that you have, or in my case, I'm going to use this double oval punch. So it's going to allow me to put a focal point on there. Okay, so now I'm going to work with the horizontal pieces. And once again, I'm just going to grab my scissors and just snip them off. I know, creating more little scrappy pieces, but they'll go in the recycle bin. That's totally where they're going. Put a couple this way. And nothing to say that you cannot use, not sure if I'm going to use that one. Nothing to say you cannot use pattern paper or cardstock for this little project here too. You could do that too. Okay, this one's going to go like this. Just going on the fly, and I'm totally fine with the angles not matching up. Kind of looking, do I want, no, I don't want to do that. Let's not get too carried away. Let's go here. Whoop, there we go. So it was easy to tell you the supplies for tonight's cards because they're very simple. Nothing too complicated. And I don't want to hide all my really pretty teacups, so maybe this guy will go over here. I'll just do this a little bit and snip that guy in there. I think it needs to be just cut off a wee bit more. There we go. Add this guy here. Oh my, it was a cold day here, wasn't it? Cold and rainy. Colder than we're ready for. On the weekend, I told my sons that there's no way in September I'm putting the heat on. So buckle up and you'll be fine. Well, this afternoon when I had to work down in the basement, and it was freezing down here, I was having a crisis of faith on that one and going, well, maybe we could turn the heat on. Not sure. Perhaps. There's this piece here. No, I think I like just those 3 patterns. Now, the stamp set I'm using is called Very Best Occasions. It was a bundle with a 3-part punch, which I haven't used a lot of, to be honest. I think I showed it last week on how to use the whole punch part, but I got to play with that a little bit more. But this stamp set's nice. It's got some nice big Christmassy ones, and then like all different sizes. So I'm actually going to use the Happy Birthday because I really like that one in here. So grab that stamp. That's pretty dark. Let's hope it's not too dark. Oh no, it's perfect. This Starry Sky color is beautiful, dark, dark blue. And if you like Night of Navy, you're going to love this because it's like that color when blue or purple, a car is blue or purple and it's outside at night and it doesn't look that actual color. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to cut this piece off so we can use the other side of it, because when you use this punch and you want to put you want to punch the smaller one, anything that's sticking up the top is going to be lost there. So we're going to just cut this down a bit. Happy birthday. And then I want this to be bordered a bit, so I have some scrap of the Parakeet Party, newer in color. And so that's what's great about this double oval punch, because you're going to be able to layer them all in one punch. If you don't have this punch, you need it. Especially if you don't have ovals, but if you like punching like I do, and it's so much faster and easier, it's great. And I've used this larger one with the scallops on it all by itself. It does some of the nice larger greetings, but this is a way to use both. And I had this teacup left over in my stash, and so I thought maybe there's a way I can incorporate this, but now I'm thinking not. It was a thought. It was a momentary thought. All right, let's get this down here. Oh, before I do that though, and if you do that like me, you can peel off your dimensional if you just are ever so careful. I want to put some ribbon on the back of this. There's the ribbon. So I couldn't decide which one I wanted, whether it was the parakeet or the starry sky. I have a little bit of both left from my ribbon shares to use up. So here we have a couple of choices. I think the green. I think the green is enough of a contrast. So we'll use that one. And we need to add something to the back here. And I don't have my Stampin' Seal, so I'm just going to use tear and tape. So fun fact, tear and tape is very reasonable by the inch compared to our tape runner type products. So if you ever wonder whether you should have it or not, you should. Turn the phone off. People always don't call me for hours, and they always call me when I'm got something like this going on. All right. So I'm going to add this to the back like this. See, I'm just going across the back of it, back and forth, a little back and forth. There we go. Okay, and we'll snip the ends off. It just adds a little bit of glimmer. Now I'm going to put the dimensionals on. And you put that right over the ribbon so that even if you didn't use something strong like tear and tape, that'll help hold it in place. So there we go. I'm putting 4 on here just for good measure. There we go. And we'll add this up here on the card. Coming together. Now it needs a little bling, so we're going to use the matching in color dots. This is what I have left of this package. We'll put some of these ones. These are sort of graduated in colors, so some dots are lighter than others. Put a light one down here. There we go. And that's our first card. Done in a second. And all decorated on the inside as well. So let's do another one. See, no technique to explain or anything. Pretty simple. The next one, here are the pieces that I pulled out. And the paper I want to use is this Butterfly Kisses. And again, I do have a few more little scrappy pieces out of the front of this one. Haven't used a lot of it. I didn't get the bundle that goes with it yet, so just the paper, which I found quite nice. And I like butterflies too, which is kind of unusual for me not to also get the matchy. Hi Judy, welcome. Hi Claire, thanks for being here. So I got my white, got to put that on the inside of my Calypso Coral. So we're just talking, ladies who've just joined us, about this being a bit of a scrap fest. We're using up some scrap bits. So your bits might be smaller than my scrap bits. I'm trimming some of mine down. But if you keep yours in a little bag with your papers, well, then you've always got them. So I was looking for some of these patterns that would be good. Oh, that's nice and bright. On a vertical, and then some that would be good horizontally. I like this one. Oh, we only have short pieces of that left. Okay, well, we're not cutting into anything new. All right, so we're going to go with whatever the scraps are. So you can cut them at 1/2 inch, 3/4, 5/8, whatever works for you, or no set designed size at all, whatever you want. So I'm going to try to get 3 that go, what is it, vertically. So these have some pretty big patterns on them, and then the back are smaller. So those are the same. Let's see, what else can we take that's vertical? That would work too. I'm working really hard not to steal one of the really nice ones. What's on the back of that again? Oh, right. Yeah, we could use this one. All right, so we'll use this one. And we'll maybe just cover it up a little bit more. All right, so we're ready to go in with our verticals. And if they're too long, that's fine. You just hand snip them off. Don't have to be any particular angle or just scraps. And then this guy is going to go in the middle, actually. And so I probably will cut, because this is a diagonal pattern, I'm going to cut on the diagonal. But it's going to have a little different angle than my other piece. And that's okay. The whole idea is just to have different looks. This one to be a little bit sharper angle. There we go. Now we're just going to glue this guy down. I have bridge at 7:30, so I imagine that was one of the callers from bridge. At least that's what the phone number looked like at a brief glance. We are starting back up. It's September, right? Everything starts back up again. All the activities and the get-togethers with friends, so long as everyone is healthy, all of that. And we'll do this one on this angle. There we go. Now this one matches up nicely with the card base color. I like it. I like this idea of using my stuff up. I know, it's fun, right? Oh, wait, but wait. Oh, okay, we're going to have to find a way to use that on the horizontal. Come on. There we go. There we are. And I mean, of course, you could put squares, you could put circles, you could put whatever, but this is a way to use up strips, which is kind of fun. And now we need something going this way. Oh, look at that. That can go on the inside. Perfect. It's 4 inches wide. Oh, let's put this on the inside. I'm excited. I don't even know what measurement. This is not even really the exact measurement of 1 inch, a little bit less. And maybe, what else could go? This could go on the inside. Let's make sure that's 4 inches. It is, or looks to be, maybe a little bit skinnier. And you can always put these on the envelopes too. If you're not mailing your envelopes, kind of fun to add some thing to them by putting them on your cards as well. On your envelopes, I'm sorry, as well, as long as they're not being mailed. If they are, and I've done video on this before, then what you want to do is use some really strong tear and tape to seal it down, or even our adhesive sheets to seal it down really well. I like using the clear envelopes so that I can have my cards show through the clear envelope. They're a little bit cheaper, so I save a little bit of money that way too. So yeah, it's something I often will do. All right, so now we're going this way. Let's see. We need something kind of basic. We need something not too over the top, and we need something a little over the top. So let's cut this guy down. So we've got that one, and we can use this one too. The little hearts, which are pretty as well. So then you can play with how much spacing you want between them and how much you want them to butt up against the side, or do you want them to overlap, right? There's lots you can do to play with this. There's no set right and wrong for it. All right, so let's get the green one down first, I think. That's what we're going with. It's going down on the card with glue. That means it's happening. Okay, I'm going to cut a little bit of this off because I feel like it's too even. So then we can add this guy here. Ooh. Okay, come on. Add my glue. Look up and check once in a while, see if there's any comments, or if your hands and your minds are busy doing some crafting. You may be busy. And then this one more strip I need. I really love this. I gotta have this. This has to go on the front because it is so cute. So we're gonna indent this one a little bit. Maybe not. Part of me just wants to keep it nice and long. And then I'm going to put the oval in there. Let's see. Just take the oval shape. Yeah. Put the oval in the middle. So tomorrow night, tomorrow night I'm not here. Tomorrow night I'm teaching a class, but Wednesday night is my technique. I think I'm calling it What's Up Wednesday? What's Going On Wednesday? Something like that. Looking for a catchy name for it. And I will be doing a project with you, and there'll be a post with some information on what you can pull ahead if you want to have to play with. So on my other computer at the other workstation down at the other end of my craft room, which is where I do my day job, I can hear the gathering of the ladies from the bridge group. Okay, I need a little bit of Night of Navy. Yeah, was it Night of Navy? I think it is. Yeah, so I need a little bit of Night of Navy as my focal point on this one. There we go. So I hear them gathering and chatting. They can't hear me though. That's okay. So this is going to go on like this. Super simple. We keep it simple. Always best. There we go. This time, no ribbon. I think I'm just going to put it up on some dimensionals and add something shiny to go with. Here we go. And we'll add you know what I haven't used in forever is the iridescent rhinestones. I haven't used these in a long time, so we'll add these. They've got that little bit of a pinky color tinge to them too, and that will brighten this one up a little bit. One there on the butterfly, and one here. Actually, this needs a lot. We need to add a lot of different jewels to brighten this guy up. There we go. All right, so there's our second card. Thanks for hanging with me. I will be here on Wednesday night with a What's Up. We're going to do something a little more complicated, but I will post some instructions if you want to play along. And if you make these cards and you want to go ahead and post them when I post mine in that thread, why, I'd love to see what you made. Thanks for being here. Take good care, everybody. Bye for now.